Oh, if it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no damn luck at all. 2020's turning out to be the worst year of my life. After I made that video about the one I just posted, I went to start my generator because of the tropical storm that's supposed to be coming. This generator has run flawlessly for I don't know how many years. Always putting stable in it, keeping the gas tank full at all times. But gas started pouring out of the carburetor. It wasn't running right. It sounded like it was sputtering. It wasn't sounding right. It's been working very, very good until I started it up early today. After I made that video and I uploaded it and everything, then I went out here and started the generator, because as I always do, I haven't started it in about a month or a month and a half. Normally I start it every few weeks. Sorry if I'm winded. I feel like I'm going to pass out. I had to go in the house 3 times already. I had to jockey this around. I have a ramp that I built that's on video that comes out here about 4 feet, and then I can wheel the whole generator right out onto it. But because of the lack of space in my tractor shed a few years ago, I stored it under the house. I'm not digging that out. I can't. I'm exhausted because of the heat, not anything else. Normally I'd pull it out and I can get at everything, but I had to open this door, which is closed now with a latch inside. And I just about passed out. I got the air cleaner off. It's loaded with gas. And I had to jockey the generator all around so that these wheels will face that way, and these feet that rest here was sitting on here. So I can get at it. It was awful hard. I was still working in the corner over there. And let me show you. This is a brand new spare carburetor that Champion sent me when I first got the generator. I had surging problems on it. So they sent me a new carburetor, which I never put on. Okay? Now, as you're looking at the carburetor and you're looking at the drain nut and the bowl nut right here, okay? Sure, I'm on. Yeah, I'm going to have to hold it. You're going to just have to do it with the handheld. Okay. When I turned the gas cocks on, I got 2 gas cocks on a gas tank because one was leaking years ago. So when I turned the gas cock on, gas come pouring right out of here where my thumb is. There's no hole there. Come pouring right out of there. There's no hole there. Okay? There is, the gasket goes here against the engine. Okay? So, as you're looking at the carburetor on the engine, this part here is against the engine. This is where the air cleaner goes, okay? And the choke goes right there, okay? Right in that black thing there. Okay. So, I said, okay. I reached around, and this is where the gas line goes in. So I said, well, maybe it's leaking around here and going around the bowl gasket and leaking down here. Oh, this heat is killing me. The humidity, it's killing me. I'll tell you, I felt like I was going to pass out a couple times. I still feel very bad right now. I'm sorry, we can't afford to lose power. We can't. We got a lot of frozen foods in there. Diabetic medication, insulin is in the refrigerator. And we need our air conditioning. I gotta get this going. No 2 ways. So I said, well, I reached around here. I thought maybe a hose would be cracked. Bone dry. I turned the cocks on, and it's not leaking, but it's leaking here. So was nothing here. My fingers were dry. So I figured, well, I shut the gas cocks back off again, I drained, I put a container underneath, I removed the bowl. This is the new carburetor. I removed the bowl off the old one because I can't show you the old one because the generator's back into place again temporarily. And I took the bowl down, I sprayed carburetor cleaner on it, and the gasket is all like pretty well shot. I says, oh, maybe I'll just take this bowl, which has a nice gasket, and put it on the old carburetor to see if that took care of it. Says maybe the bowl is leaking and it's coming out. No such luck. It's still pouring out of this hole. It's pouring out of here. There is nothing. I can't see up in here when it's on the generator. But it's coming right out of there. Right where my thumb is. Right where my thumbnail is. That's what's pouring out of. I mean pouring out. So, naturally, nothing simple. So, I was in the process of changing the carburetor. I'm almost certain I can do it, but I can't work in this heat. It's got to be at least 20 degrees cooler, and the dew point's got to be no higher than 50 degrees dew point. I can't do this. I can't. I was not on macro. So let me show you this part here again. It was leaking right here, okay? You might be able to see that better now that I'm on macro. Keep forgetting to put this on macro, or sometimes I leave it on macro when I don't need to. It's not leaking from the bowl gasket. It's coming out of here. It's not leaking from the hose over here. So that's the story of my life. So how it can be leaking out of here, I don't know. This is the end that goes to the engine. I don't know. I don't understand it. But it is coming out of there right where my fingernail is. So I just want to show you that. Maybe there's a crack in the body of the carburetor. I don't know, but the carburetor's got to be changed, but I cannot do it in this weather. So I got my Coleman 1850 generator out. I have not run it in years since I got the Champion. It's bone dry, no gas. Oh man, I feel like I'm going to pass out. I'm sorry, folks. I got to get this keep the air conditioner. This will not run the 15,000 BTU air conditioner. When I had this, we had a 12,000, and it just barely ran that. 15,000 takes it's 120 volt, takes 12 amps. It's not going to run it, so we're going to burn up. We lose power, we're going to burn up. This creates surges, and even though my son's computer, when we had it 5 or 6 years ago, blew out the power supply because it surged. When the refrigerator kicked in and kicked out, I guess, it surged, and it blew the computer power supply. Even though the computer was turned off, the power supply was plugged in. But I have no choice. We're going to have to use this if we lose power. I have no choice. I can't afford to go out and buy another generator. I just can't do it, and I don't have a place for it. And I don't have a place to run this. It'll have to be running, well, you can see the plug right there. I'll have to put a piece of something over it. I don't even have any plywood here. Isn't that something? I used to have a little dog house to go over this, but it rotted away, so I broke it up and got rid of it. All right, I put a little gas in it. Hopefully enough. I don't want to have to put a lot in there. Now, years ago, I put a shut-off valve on this and a gas filter. This is the kind of gas filter you want to use when you don't have a pump. Because the gas filter that was on the tank fell off. So to keep it clean, that's the way I do it. So the last time I changed the oil was 2012, but I haven't used it. And the only thing about this thing is it runs for 5 or 6 hours, and I got to add oil. It always did the day I got it. Well, I'm going to try to start it. One pull. Good little generator, but I'll tell you what, that thing is loud compared to the Champion. Oh, I got to put it on half choke. Put it on 3/4 choke. We'll let it run for a while. It hasn't run in years. Now I've got a cord that I made up that'll go into my outlet over here. Okay. Now this here for the Champion uses the RB plug, because we have it set for 120 volts, not 220. So the Coleman will plug into here, and it'll have a standard 115 volt outlet plug, in other words, to go into a standard outlet, which it uses. It's been running a while. Let's see if I can open the choke again. Okay, it likes to run better on 3/4 choke, but that's all my engines run like that. Yeah, you see, when it does that, that's when I blow computer power supplies out. We'll leave it on 3/4 choke. All it'll do is just use a little more gas, but I think the tank holds a gallon at the most. But there's no way that that's going to run the Frigidaire 15,000 BTU air conditioner, which is on a 20 amp circuit and draws 12 amps. That's what it draws, 12 amps when it's all cleaned out. When it was all clogged up, it drew so much that it blew the breaker, but last few years I didn't let it get that bad. If I could afford it, I'd get another backup generator, but I have no place to put it, and I just can't do it. So what I'm going to do now is to try to search for that cord. Okay, this I made up when I had this generator. This is 12.2 with ground, 120 volt, 115 volt. With the 220 20 amp, that's all that is. I have 10 wire running underground, but the outlet is 20 amp. What this is, wrong end, this end, plugs in here, so it mates with this. So this, even though I'm using 10 gauge wire on this, and the generator, in other words, the circuit breakers are 20 amp, okay, and I'm only using one side. I'm not using the 220, I'm using it. So it has a mechanical interlock inside, so there's no danger of throwing both of them. It's impossible, because you have to have the main off before you can throw the generator on, okay? So this cord here is long enough that I could probably, worst case scenario, I can put it, the little generator in here with the doors open to keep it dry. Move our trash can. We don't use that because we bring it to a dumpster up at the end, so we don't put barrels out anymore. So I can put the little generator in here and leave these doors open to let air circulation get through, and that should work out fine. So it'll get some air circulation. So the cord is long enough to go around over there. So I got to let this stay aired out because the wood had a lot of, there was quite a bit of gas. It's dried up now, but you can still smell it. So I'm leaving this thing open, and when I do get another carburetor, I'll make sure it's aired out really good. When I get the other carburetor in, I should say. So that's it on that. I'm still getting a little sput every once in a while, and I'm running with the choke 1/4 closed or 3/4 open, however you want to look at it. It's not so bad now. I'm not doing anything and exerting myself, and there's a tiny breeze. Now 2020 is turning out to be a hell year for all of us, not just me. Let me see if I can get this to run with full choke. So if we have to use this, I know the air conditioner is not, this isn't going to run the air conditioner. I know it's not. The Champion does just fine with it. It runs, the Champion is 3,500 watts continuous, 4,000 peak. We can run my son's 5,000 BTU to 15,000 BTU at the same time. Televisions, all the computers. Well, we don't run the computers on the generator because the UPS keeps clicking on and off, on and off. So when we have to run the generator, as good as the Champion is, at least when it was running, it is not a pure sine wave. The bedroom air conditioner, which is where my computer is, I have a fan going. I can't run that. That's about 25 years old. It's 8,000 BTU. It works great, but we can't run with our low line voltage, which is usually around 117, and much lower than that at times. We can't run all of it, so it's pretty warm in there. But it's important that my wife has insulin. The refrigeration, the stuff has to be refrigerated. We've got a lot of stuff in the freezer, and we got a delivery of stuff coming today. So I hope we don't lose power, but at least I'm as ready for it as I can be. And you know how that's going to be. It'll be downpouring, and I won't be able to get out here to start the generator. And you know, I can't take that, and it won't fit under the deck, and that's dangerous anyway. You want that 25 feet from the house, which is what the gen house is. It's 25 feet away from the house, and the exhaust is over here. So when I used to have that generator here, I used to have it set on this platform here, which is about 20 feet from the house, and plugged into an outside outlet on the bottom over there at the house, but that's been disconnected and no longer is there. So the least of my worries is losing water pressure, which is, you know, when we lose power, we lose water. So anyways, if you don't hear from me in who knows how long, you'll know we lost power. Because we lose power, I can't run the computers. We're lucky to be able to keep our refrigerators going with this. So I'm going to shut that thing down now. It seems to be doing good. And I wanted to give you an update on it. So let's shut it off now. Let's turn the gas valve off. Okay, we'll let it run out of gas. Now the only way I can get gas out of that is with a turkey baster. Okay. Oh wow. It's down there. I didn't put much in it anyways, because the more I put in it, the more I have to drain it out. We'll let it cool down here. So again, we're only running 120 volts, and that's what we're running on a Champion, where we got it with the RV plug in it. Otherwise, if you run it on 220, you're only getting 15 amps per leg. Okay. So I figured we'd just use half the circuits, and we're only using the primary circuits, like we don't use the computers when we got whatever generator we're using. We don't use that. Don't use the computers. We're concerned with the refrigerator, some lights, the TV maybe, and the refrigerator, if I didn't say that already. So I've got a long enough cord that I could run it over here, put the generator in here, take out everything. I don't worry about the barrels. I'll just stick them off over the side. Put the generator in there, and it'll keep it dry. I can leave the doors open. You got to have it for ventilation, and it'll keep the thing from getting rained on. But that's all we can do. All right, I figured I'd give you. I feel a lot better. I'll tell you. I've been trying to replace that carburetor. I don't know why that's leaking like that. I never seen anything like that. I understand that if the float is stuck and the bowl gasket's bad, but it's not coming out of the bowl gasket because I swapped the bowl, put the new bowl on there with the new gasket. The old gasket did not get stuck on the top of the carburetor. It stayed with the bowl, but I swapped bowls with a new gasket from the new carburetor, and it still poured out on that area where I showed you. Oh, I've never seen it do that, so I don't know what it is. I don't know. Something's wrong with the carburetor, but what? I don't understand why it would be coming out in that area. There's no hole there, so there must be a crack somehow. The vibration, I was reading that they can crack and they could leak, and you got to replace the carburetor. Whew, and you know me with carburetors. Other than replacing them, I'm no good at it, but we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching.